Louisiana versus all y'all. Jared Roser here with U-High safety Jardin Gilbert, who just released his top five Sunday night. One of the top prospects in the 2021 class across the state of Louisiana. Um, One of the top safeties, also top guys in his position, and getting a lot of national attention. Three SEC schools, a Big 12 school, and then a local school there in that top five. And we're certainly going to talk a lot about that, as well as a lot of other issues that we want to hit upon. But Jordan, man, how has everything been going? It's been a minute, and it's been such a unusual and challenging year. How have you guys been making out?
We've been fine. We've just been doing what we could do. Like whenever this first started, I actually had like a book sack and I took all my books and I just started lifting that. But like as team wise, we did Zoom like it was like Monday through Thursday, every time at 2 o'clock. Then he sent us workouts just so we could, like whenever we get back in the swing of things, we already know what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, for sure. And it's been such a difficult year in terms of the coronavirus impact on, I mean, not only football, but just everything. But also there have been some major issues around the country in terms of social injustices and civil rights issues that have come to light. And that's something that you wanted to talk about before we really got into the top five discussion. It's something that has been at the forefront of conversation throughout this summer, certainly, and something you've been pretty vocal about. I mean, you changed your Twitter name to Black and Proud, and you had posted a photo where you responded to a reporter about wanting to talk about the Breonna Taylor situation in Louisville and some of the lingering issues there in terms of the response. I guess let's start there. I mean, what did you want to share in terms of a message with regards to those issues, and how have you been handling some of that?
Oh, so at first, whenever it all first started out, it was kind of frustrating. My parents, we all, like all my little brothers and sisters, like we sat down and talked about what was going on in the world because we were all kind of frustrated. Because it's crazy how like it's 2020 and all this still and it's chaos behind racism is still happening. And so like with the reporter asking me to do an interview, it's like now it's like kind of more than football. Like football is my escape thing whenever things are going crazy, but I also feel like I have a platform to be heard and like to bring notice to the situation.
Yeah, and that's something that I think has been even before that Memorial Day weekend, where obviously George Floyd was the story that caught the most national attention, but a lot happened that week. Um, and obviously, I mean, Brianna was in mid March, and is something that we're still talking about in August, as two of the officers involved in that have yet to be arrested. But just the idea of that platform is something that I think within sports becomes a consistent conversation. And a lot of people say, let's just keep it to sports. Let's not talk about this. And I think that's such a goofy response to think that, I mean, an athlete or coach is somehow not entitled to share an opinion just because they participate in a sport in whatever capacity. How do you kind of weigh the opportunity to use that platform versus knowing that some controversial topics that some fans are gonna react negatively to hearing it? There's gonna be some backlash. How do you kind of balance that opportunity versus knowing that it can be a divisive situation?
So like first off, like I don't know, I don't understand why people would have a problem with a black athlete feeling some type of way because we are the people that's getting tortured, being killed, going through violence. So like I feel like me personally, like this me trying to bring notice to the situation. So like I wouldn't really care about the backlash, the comments, the negativity that fans and whoever bring, because at the end of the day, Breonna Taylor still hasn't got the justice that she was she needed, like she's obligated to get. And so I feel like that this my platform. is a way to help and bring notice into all type of violence going through the world.
Have you guys team-wise had a chance to talk, whether it be coaches kind of leading some discussion amongst you guys, or team leaders kind of engaging the conversation? Has some of what's happened from some of the police brutality dynamic and the racial dynamics in the country been something that y'all have addressed, or has that been something that, I guess, within the team standpoint, you have not necessarily felt the need or had the opportunity to address yet?
Actually, Coach Martin, he addressed it like whenever we came back, like the first time it got crazy. He was like that there's no color on this team. Like, we all brothers, we all family, and that's the special thing about football, that sports in general, that it brings us together. Like, we don't see white, black, or anything like that. We just brothers that trying to help each other get better and win, achieve the goals that they put themselves in front of.
When you have kind of spoken up about some of the issues, including I mentioned the conversation with the reporter a couple of weeks ago, how has the kind of support been to know that you have some of those guys there that you mentioned, that regardless of color or other backgrounds, you seem to feel like you guys do have each other's backs and are able to kind of be there for one another? What has that been like team-wise to have that additional support system there?
It's amazing. It's comforting, actually. Like, you don't really have to worry about you going to practice and your teammates like bashing you, talking about why you doing this, why you doing this. Like, they asking me ways to help. Like, if I do this, what happened, and stuff like that. Like, they trying to bring positivity, like I am. So yeah, they on my side, and it feels good, like, to have a support system behind me.
Yeah, when you have guys from other backgrounds who come to you and kind of come to you in an open way that that seem to genuinely want to learn and know what they can do, that's got to be an awesome feeling to know that they're kind of there and you guys are able to have that conversation.
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's like I'm feeling like I'm starting change. It's little, but that's the feeling that I get.
Is there any more that you wanted to touch upon, kind of where we are right now as a country with some of that, or other aspects that have really kind of caught your attention, or maybe you feel like we're not talking enough about, or anything of that nature before we get into some of the football and top five talk?
I just feel like we just gotta do better as people. Like, even as black people, like, we have to do better. Like, we have to stop the violence between us and the ignorance between them, because the ignorance ain't gonna do nothing but make it worse. So we need to start with some change and bring positivity to the world also.
And I think some of the conversations, like you mentioned, with your teammates, and some of the conversations like we're having are important. The fact that it's at the forefront and more people are talking about it now than probably ever before is important, because I know, a lot of people, whether in my family or people that I've known through the years, I think just now are starting to open their eyes in some ways and realize the magnitude of some of these things. And I always kind of fall back to this idea that progress is a process. And so I think we still have a long way to go with a lot of this, but the fact that it's a conversation that's happening is encouraging to some degree, at least.
Right, exactly.
As far as the football side, I mentioned you did release your top five on Sunday night. You had the three SEC schools, as I mentioned: Alabama, Texas A&M, and Mississippi State, Oklahoma in the Big 12, and then the hometown team Southern and HBCU in that top five. Take me through kind of the decision that those would be the five at the forefront of a recruitment that you've had a lot of opportunities and offers come your way. What stood out about those five that they're kind of the main ones in your focus at this point?
So, like, Bama and Mississippi State jumped on me early. Like, they just been showing love ever since I got the offer. The reason Mississippi State wasn't in the top 13 is because that I feel like they wanted me more as wide receiver than DB. And that's what I want to play in college. I want to be a DB. So, but like as the time went on and they got Theodore Knox and Malik, and he started chopping it up with me, making it a plan to talk to me every day, and like showing me the schemes that he'll have me in. As a DB now, I feel more comfortable with them, and that's why they moved the top 5 because of the situation. They have a good situation for me. Bama is like Coach Golden, me and Coach Golden talk all day, and like Bama is Bama. Like there's nothing really need to be said. Like that's they top notch, and like with the HBCUs, like it's crazy because like if people would look at you before then, they would look at you like you're crazy, like why put an HBCU in. But now it's like, yeah, do it. But I'm not doing it because of what's going on. It's because that I'm treating it just like a school that in other school. Like I feel like if they have the best option for me, then I deserve to put them in the top 5. And then Oklahoma is me and Coach Grinch and Coach Riley talk almost every day. The love they show, it's second to none. Like they also have a good setup for me too. And I'm trying to go somewhere where I can play early, and that's what they all talking about.
And I guess with what you mentioned with Mississippi State, all 5 of those programs are looking at you as a defensive back. For you, you've made so many
safety.
Oh, my bad. It froze up for a sec, but yeah, just I guess answer that. I didn't realize you were going to say more, so go ahead and answer that question more like you were about to.
Like, it's all the safety or corner. I feel more comfortable at safety, but whatever they need to do, whatever I need to do to get on the field faster, then that's what I'm gonna do.
You're a guy that's made so many plays in so many places for U-High throughout your high school career. I was looking back at different video clips that I'd caught of you from sophomore year through junior year, and I've got you making interceptions. I've got you making huge catches downfield for the offense. What stands out to you about wanting to play on the defensive side of the ball in terms of just where you see your future? Why is DB, whether corner or safety, kind of where your heart is?
Because I just like being physical. I like hitting and I don't like getting hit. So like, yeah. So like, of course I'm an athlete. Like, I love wide receiver as well because I like scoring touchdowns. But like, you get the best of both worlds. You get to catch a ball and tackle. You get to return it for pick six. Like defense, that's the man side of the game.
Talking about, I guess, some of the conversations with Mississippi State as they've continued to evolve, as they have Teddy and Malik now on the offensive side of the ball committed for this class. What has been some of that pitch about where exactly you slot in for them defensively that has been so intriguing to hear more of as they've looked at you more on that side of the ball?
So like Coach Mason, like I mean that's 2 very good wide receivers. So like I don't really know too many people that can guard both of them. So like Coach been saying, like we got offense, now we just need the defense to stop them from scoring. Like they're gonna put up numbers, we just need to stop the numbers. So that's like basically what they've been saying.
Have you been talking much to Teddy and Malik?
Ted, not really Malik though.
What's Teddy been saying? He's a guy that obviously spent most of his life out here, but spent last year in Houston and is finishing up high school out there. What's been his kind of message since he committed?
He just felt like they was the right school. We didn't really talk too much about Mississippi State. We just whenever we talk, we just like chop it up. How you doing in school? Like I just be amazed at how fast it is. I'd be like, bro, you crazy fast. And like, yeah, like so and I just be wishing the best of luck.
And you talked about some of the relationship and the opportunity at Southern too, and that you including them isn't a matter of just being kind of a trendy thing, but enjoying what some of those conversations have looked like. What have been some of the things Coach Odoms and the staff up on the Bluff have mentioned to you, and some of the things that have caught your attention about what opportunity could be there if you were going to go be a Jaguar and stay in the hometown area?
So like they just like my versatility. Like they can use me in all type of different positions. And as an athlete, that's what I want. Like I don't want. It'll be weird just being like a safety and that's it. Like just playing one side of the ball. So like I like what they selling because like I want to play whatever they need me to do. That's what I'm gonna do, and that's what they've been telling me. Him and Coach Odom and Coach Warren.
What has been some of your reaction, I guess, kind of meshing the two parts of this conversation together? There have been a lot more guys who have included HBCUs in their top threes or top fives. One of LSU's commits right now from out of state, Kari G, had said he wants to take a couple of his visits to HBCUs, but is obviously committed to LSU at the moment. To see some of that some of that attention to and promotion of and appreciation of the HBCUs in a bigger way than we've probably seen ever, really, because of the ability of social media now and its impact on recruiting. What has that been like to see more conversation about some of those programs that have kind of have been overlooked in more recent years?
I love it. I just hope them boys not doing it just because it's a trend. Like I hope they doing it the same reason I'm doing it, just because they should have a chance, not just because it's a trend. Like because they're really interested. Like HBCU, it's something different. Like going to the Bayou Classic versus Grambling and Southern is a whole different experience. Like it's second to none.
For you, I mean, before we get to you heading to whichever college ends up being your choice, you got another year another season at U-High that you guys are now back in, another step closer toward after this weird COVID off season. I mentioned you making interceptions in the Dome 2 years ago as a sophomore and some big plays. What is it like now to be one of the seniors gearing up for your last ride, knowing everything you've done the last couple of years, having some of these other guys a grade or two ahead of you? Now you're one of the old men.
It's crazy. Like I was just saying it the other day, like how time flew. I could have sworn I just put a U-High helmet on the other day, ran my first 110. It's crazy, but it feels good to be a senior, to be a leader, and have like people looking after me, like asking me how to do this, Jordan, about schools and helping them, like give them knowledge about college and like how to be a better player. And that's what I love doing. I love helping somebody.
Whenever we get to some Friday nights, what's kind of the outlook for the Cubs this year? What are some of the early conversations you guys are having in terms of goals and mindsets and team identity and things of that nature?
So a lot of people are gonna be sleeping on it this year, a lot, and we gonna wake them up. Like we got, I think like 16 starters coming back. So we got a very young team too, but like we got some offensive threat, defensive threats like Derrick Graham, got Christian R, Trevor Evans, then defense Micah Davey, uh, about to be a junior Dylan. We gonna be good. We gonna surprise a lot of people this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I guess one of the positives of playing on defense is you don't have to get hit by a Micah Davey ever, because he's no joke. Tell me more about some of those other guys. I mean, I talked about you've been one of the top prospects in this 2021 class around the state, but Micah, I think, has started to hop on more and more people's radars. Rodeo coming up is kind of catching some attention as a running back to watch for the years to come. How excited are you about some of the progress you've seen from those guys and some of the attention that's starting to come their way too?
They my boys, all of them. So anytime they do something good, I love it. Like I always talking to coaches about them, because if I succeed, they deserve to succeed too, and that's what I love seeing. Like for me to be able to help them succeed in life, that's what I feel like my purpose here is on deserve, to help people succeed, be better at what they are doing.
There you go, man. Well, I'm looking forward to coming to see you guys actually playing some football pretty soon instead of just having to watch y'all through a computer screen. So I can't wait.
The same Same here. Like I cannot wait to put on shoulder pads. Like I felt so good putting on helmets Monday. Well, today, yeah, today.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Jordan, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to chat about everything with me. Again, he's Jardin Gilbert, a top prospect in Louisiana for this 2021 class, safety coming out of U-High and getting closer and closer to making his college decision ultimately for Louisiana versus all y'all, Jarrett Roser. Thanks again, man.
All right, no problem.